I guess Ma'am Sarah is here. Ma'am Sarah, are you there? Just wait for a few minutes. Perhaps nagko-connect pa si Ma'am Sarah. Nasaan kayo, Doc? Nasa Bicol po ba kayo?
Yes po, nasa Bicol pa rin po ako.
Kumusta naman po dyan? Kayo binagyo nung recently?
Naman po siya compared to mga usual na bagyo po dito. So, okay lang. Kaso tumataas ang case po sa amin.
Sige. So, ito minsan mahirap sa ating online setup. Hindi natin alam kung nandyan yung ating mga kausap o connect na. Okay. Yata pa naka-connect. Okay. Anyway, siguro lalabas na lang si Ma'am Sarah a little later. So, ito yung first day natin, first session. Perhaps we could introduce ourselves first with our fellow participants. There are other participants who are supposed to be here. Siguro dahil sa mga schedules, they're still trying to connect or will be sent. Can I ask you to please kindly introduce yourselves so that at least magkakilala tayo dito sa ating learning session. Okay, so siguro si Ma'am, sino man nandito? Si Ma'am Ness. Ma'am Ness.
Hello po. Ulit, sir, introduce yourself.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, hello.
Some people are coming in. Tayo lang natin.
Alright po.
Is Alvin here already? Alvin?
Hello, Sir Jeff. Good morning po.
Good morning, Alvin. May ano ka ba? May video ka ba para magkakita-kitaan tayo? Si Ma'am Sarah. Ma'am Sarah, good morning.
Sandali lang, sir.
Gusto ka lang dyan. Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Ba't dalawa kayo, Ma'am Sarah? Okay. Okay, I guess nandito na tayong first group. So let's proceed with the introduction. No? So can I ask, well, let's start with Ma'am Vanessa.
Hello po, good morning. My name is Vanessa Pagtuog, but please call me Ness. I'm the new HR officer po ng Camillus Medical Center, Pasig po.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ness. So good morning. Next we have Dr. Miguel.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Miguel. I'm representing St. Camillus Polyclinic, Makati on behalf of Miss Deria Reyes po. Good morning.
Good morning. Then we have Alvin.
I'm Alvin Jacobo, the HR head of St. Camillus Hospital of Mati.
Okay, good morning, Alvin. So from Mati. And then we have Ma'am Sarah.
Sir,
Okay, Ma'am Sarah, please introduce yourself.
Rizabal, Administrator ng St. Camillus Hospital.
Okay, good morning. So I guess more or less everyone is here except for Medhaven. Our Medhaven HR is in Antipolo right now. I think they're busy opening up the new Medhaven facility there in Antipolo. Okay. So anyway, they will be joining us perhaps in the afternoon or perhaps next week. Anyway, in case you want to go over this session again, I'll be posting this later in our Google Classroom. So the recording will always be posted there so that you can always get back to the discussions that have occurred during this day. Okay. Okay. So I guess we can start. We have made our introductions. So let me begin first. Let's go through this activity. Okay. Can everyone see the presentation? Okay. Now, so welcome to our first session for our Strategic People Management Program. Okay, so I'd like to introduce the program. You will have an idea about what this program is all about. Now, if you can remember back in December 16, last year, we had a meeting. I had already more or less discussed to some of you what the program is. No? So we'll just go over it again so that you could, since it was several months ago, no? So we were supposed to start this program, intervening activities. The program got delayed. No? So luckily, we are able to start that now. No? So fortunately, we have new HR people as well. So I guess this learning program would be timely since we have new people on board. No? So first, let me just introduce the title of the program. Okay, we're actually going through two programs right now. No? So the main program or the core program is what we call the Strategic People Management Program. Okay, so when if you're asked what this program is, you can just say that this is the Strategic People Management Program of the St. Camillus Healthcare Institutions. Now, under this, under the SPMP, the Strategic People Management Program, we have what we call the HR Education Learning Program, or the abbreviation would be HELP. So it's aptly called HELP because it's actually a learning program for our HR people, so that we would be able to upgrade their skills and at the same time begin to learn the 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 different aspects of HR management, but with our strategies. Okay. Okay. Before I proceed, no, can I ask? Perhaps we could lay down certain rules, no, during our learning program, so that we would be able to proceed properly, no. So, siguro, I'd request everyone to please mute your microphones, no, put them on mute first. And I'd appreciate if you could, if you could open your video, especially during discussions, no? So, okay lang during our presentation, pero mas maganda kung meron tayong discussion. We have all our videos open so that we can also see who we are interacting with, okay? Now, if you are going to ask a question, simply raise your hand. There's an icon in Zoom wherein you could raise your hand. If in case the question is very important, you can just turn on your mic and then go ahead and ask the question, so at any time. Now, if you are during our discussion, of course, to be able to reduce the first, then if you are about to speak, that's the time you will be able to open your microphone. You could speak. Okay, so basically that would be our rule for our during our presentations. Okay, so now before we proceed, of course, at the start of every training program or at start of any activity, it is important that we come to this activity understanding what it's all about. Or perhaps we came to this activity with our own expectations. So it's better that we have to level off our. What I'd like to ask first is what would be your expectations for this learning program? Okay. Okay, so what are the top 3 expectations that you have for this course? No? So it would probably help if you could write them down or write them down first so that it would be, you won't forget them later. Okay, so if you don't mind, you could also type it in chat, no? So that we can have a record of your expectations. So I'll just try to record them later. Okay. So what are the top 3 expectations that you have for this course? Okay, so you may write it down in the chat box. Okay, I'll just give you a minute or two, no, to complete your expectations for this. Good morning po. Yung training program po. Ano po? Ay, sa mga HR po ito. Okay, sorry, Father Gabby. Okay, so is there anyone who would like to share their expectation for this learning program? Anyone who's ready may just open her mic and speak. Okay, so any volunteers? Let's hear from anyone. Their expectation for the course, the entire course. Alvin, would you like to start it off?
Sir Jeff, pasensya na po Sir Jeff, hindi ako na masyadong nakakuha kasi nag-payroll po kami ngayon Sir Jeff.
Oh, error. Is everybody experiencing that too?
Kami din po, payroll mismo kami ngayon.
Oh, so you're rushing the payroll. Okay, anyway. So Ma'am Sarah.
Ganun din kasi ako, sir. Nag-update din kasi ako dito sa PhilHealth namin. Pero I try lang na, kasi ito ba yung related ba ito noon sa last week ba yon na may seminar, may training sa HR, yung assembly. Topic na to, sir, o bago po ito? Hello, Sir Jeff. Hello? Hello.
Connect. Yeah, this is training program. Hello?
Hello,
I think we have some.
sir.
think we have connection
Hello
problem with
po,
Albayog.
sir.
Kita marinig?
Narinig niya na pa ako? May audio po ba, sir?
Yeah, okay. Okay, narinig na.
So, pasensya na po sir kasi nakikinig lang din ako. Akala ko kasi ito is may connection po siya sa last week ba yun? Or last 2 weeks na training?
Okay.
I try
Okay.
next. So, during siguro this course, ay magbigay din po ako ng input. So, gusto ko lang muna makinig po kasi hindi po ako nakaka-attend noon sa assembly. Yung HR assembly kasi conflict po ng schedule namin dito.
Okay. Okay. Noted, Ma'am Sarah. Okay. So just to answer your expectation, no, this is not connected with the previous HR conference. No, this is already our in-house HR learning program. So it's not connected with that one. Although, of course, there are some lessons there that might be applicable. No, pero this one is more specific to the St. Camillus healthcare institutions. Okay, so can we listen to
This course po ba ito is for ang direction po yung HR? So magiging ito yung guide namin for our workshop program
Yes,
here in San Camillus. Okay po, sir.
to answer your question, Ma'am Sarah, yes.
Okay. So, pasalamat po kami na mayroon dito kasi try to contact ko nga sa NSC para maka-attend din dito, sir. Yung HR namin.
Okay, she texted me and informed me na naka-leave yata siya, no? So I told her na she will be able to access this later. It will be the recording for this session will be posted sa ating Google Classroom.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay. How about Doctora? I probably Doctora is not doing any payroll.
Basically, sir, because I am not an HR and we don't have a designated HR in St. Camillus Polyclinic, I think this HR education and learning program will help us especially in hiring personnel and performance evaluation. It would also increase our knowledge in management, managing our staffs and knowing basic rights of both the employees and the employers. So that's the top 3 expectations I have for this learning session. That's all, sir.
Okay, note of those expectations you have mentioned. Okay. Okay, so again, let me just go over these expectations that you may have, no, with regards to this to our learning program, to this strategic people management program, and so that we could align what our expectations with what the program is really all about. Okay, so the purpose for this program, no, for running this program, we have several of them. No? So let me first go through these purposes. No? So first, the reason why we have this program is so that we could unify the people management services of the Camillian institutions. No? So what do we mean by unifying the people management services? What we mean by that is because we simply, perhaps in the past, we always work on ourselves or alone for our own institution. No? So if I'm way or a uniform way of performing the HR number two purpose, and that is to help standardize the people management system and service delivery. When we talk about standard, okay, can everyone hear me? I got one of the monitor just disconnected. Can everyone still hear me?
Yes po, Sir Jeff.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yun na lang meron tayong backup. Okay. So, again, this is a way for us to standardize the people management system and the service delivery of our organization. So instead of coming up with different ways of doing things, we'll come up with a standardized way of doing it. That would be the same with any other institution that we have. So if you're in Makati, you'll be doing the same process that you are doing in Mati, in Calbayog, and in other Camillian institutions. Also, the purpose for this program is to help professionalize our people managers. So particularly those in the human resource department. However, like what Doctora had mentioned, so they're not part of they're not the human resource managers, or not the typical HR managers. Pero I'd like to make it clear, when we talk about people management or even human resource management per se, so we're talking about a function. So any manager of an organization or a team would definitely have certain HR or people management functions. So it means that the people management function is supposed to be performed by any manager in the organization. So it's very, very appropriate or apt that every manager in the organization would understand what is the HR process and what are the outcomes that it's supposed to bring to the organization. Okay, so this program, this learning course is basically here to help us upgrade or put additional knowledge into our HR practice in the organization. Okay, so it would benefit all those who attend this program. So if you are going to attend this program and perform all of the activities that we're supposed to perform in this program, it will definitely help you in improving your competence in managing people in the organization. The fourth purpose is to institutionalize the strategic people management practice in our institutions. Okay, what do we mean by institutionalizing? First and foremost, what we would want to happen is that we have a people management system that contributes to the attainment of our strategic goals. So we have each of our institutions have something. We have goals. We need to accomplish this for a certain number of years. in order for us to successfully attain that or fulfill that goal, the role of HR is supposed to be supportive of that goal. Okay, so everything that we do in HR management should all be geared up towards helping implement the strategy and attain the goal. Okay, so this is what we're trying to incorporate here in our HR practice in the organization. Not that it's not strategic at the moment, but we would like it to be, we would like people managing the HR function to become more aware of what our role is towards the attainment of our vision and our mission in the institution. Okay. Number 5 purpose is to enable the workforce, our workforce, to render the highest quality of humanized service to the sick and those needing healthcare services. Okay, so one of our important tasks is to, of course, bring in people, bring in the right people, and help those people provide the service that we are supposed to deliver. Okay, so and there's the specific type of service that we would like people to know us of, no? And that is a humanized service towards our clients, those who come to our hospitals, those who come to our clinics, in order to get care or health care from us, no? So we would like to render the highest quality service to them. Okay, so this course is supposed to help that. It's supposed to help attain that. No? So if we go through these steps, we will be able to slowly but surely attain that. Number 6 is to create a healthy and motivating work environment that inspires our workforce in delivering humanized healthcare. Okay, so it's part of our role in HR is to create that motivating environment, work environment. Okay, so of course, people who are not happy going to work won't be able to perform well. Okay, so we would like our people, when they go to work, they go to the workplace, they'd be motivated and happy, basically happy to serve people. No? So we would like to enhance that and to make sure that we keep that kind of environment in our workplace. No? So this program hopefully would help incorporate, would help attain that as well. Okay. Now our desired outcomes. So in implementing this program, what do we want? What do we want to achieve? Okay, what do we want out of it? So if once we implement this program, we expect that the people that we hire, that we train, that we develop would produce quality results. Okay, so ultimately that's what we're after. No? So people coming in and performing well, and not just performing well, but they're performing towards the attainment of our mission. Okay. Then the other outcome that we would like to see is a high-performing chameleon institution. Okay, so that contributes to the fulfillment of the overall vision and mission. So each institution is composed of people, and those people performing well would contribute to the success of the entire organization. Okay, and then finally, we would like to improve our competency or upgrade the competency on strategic people management. Okay, so these are the 3 desired outcomes of this program. So after this program, or as you go through this program, we'll be able to accomplish these outcomes. Now, how do we measure these outcomes? Now, of course, it would be very difficult to measure exactly how our interventions are going to contribute and what would that result be. No? It would be quite difficult to measure, but Although it's difficult, it can be measured, okay? But for this purpose, we would like to use the a bigger measure. No? So it means that after undergoing this program and after implementing what we're supposed to implement, the things that we've learned in this program, we expect, of course, that there would be increase in our census, increase in the clients that come to us. There would also be a corresponding increase in our income. Okay, so why these two? Performance indicators? I guess this, if we are just going to narrow down all of the performance indicators that we have in the institution, these two would be the key or the most important indicators of our performance. Okay, so if it means that if we hire the right people, the right people would be able to perform well, they would contribute to better service, and better service, of course, would result to more people coming to us, and more people coming to us would eventually result, of course, also in the increase of our income. Okay. Now, although these are two indicators, we also need to keep in mind that these two indicators are also indicators of our success in attaining both business and our social objectives. Okay. So our business objective, of course, is sustainability. When we talk about sustainability, we talk about continuity of our institution. Okay. So what do we mean by that? No? Continuity of our activities in the institution. If we have more clients coming in, of course, that brings in more income for us that we can use, that we can revolve and use to finance our activities. Okay. So without that, we won't be able to perform our activities. And let's keep in mind that our activities are not just about making money. No, we're not here to make money. No, we are, after all, a non-profit organization. But we have to keep in mind that our mission is still to help the sick, to help the poor sick, if we are going to use that definition of Saint Camillus, of who are we helping in our work here. No? So we would like to exist. We would like to continue to exist. We would like to sustain what we are doing so that we can continue helping poor people who are sick and everyone who comes to our institution seeking healthcare. Okay. And for that to happen, of course, we need to provide people with the right services, and not just the right services, it has to be delivered properly. It has to be delivered in a way that would enhance the health and well-being of all of our clients, of all the people that we serve. Okay, so we have to connect that with these indicators because, of course, the importance of keeping that in mind would help us in our drive towards contributing to better performance. No? So as HR people, we are here to help all of the employees, to help the managers so that they can perform better. And by performing better, our services will also improve. Okay, so this would ultimately be measured by these two indicators. Okay, so what does this mean? So we run the program, pinapatakbo natin yung programa, gagawin natin yung mga interventions na kailangan natin gawin after learning them. And hopefully, if by implementing these things, by improving these things that we do, it would ultimately result to these two key indicators. Okay. Now, we won't be able to measure this immediately. Of course, these are long-term indicators. No, the effects of what we do are actually we won't be able to see them immediately, and we won't be able to connect them directly. No, so pero it would be enough to say that if after this program we will see there is significant improvement in certain areas, then we will be able to, well, more or less say that what we did here in this program was able to contribute to that. Okay? Now, of course, the other way around, if you don't see any difference, okay, after this program, we implement this program, then afterwards nothing happens, we're still in a recovery stage, or there's nothing, no significant improvement. Therefore, probably we had not done enough. Okay, probably we still need to go over things that we do and find out what else can we possibly do to be able to achieve this particular outcome. Okay, so this is what we would like to achieve in our program. Okay, now for the specific program objectives, this program, the Strategic People Management Program, we hope that this would enable our officers, our HR officers and staff, those who are directly performing the people management function, to develop the competencies necessary to perform people management functions excellently and to accomplish the institutional outcomes. The second objective is to mainstream SPM practice in our institutions. Okay, so when we say mainstream, we would like this to be a practice, no? So kung dati yung ginagawa lang natin is purely administrative, we would like to become more strategic in what we do. Okay? So kung dati puro payroll lang ang inaasikaso natin, dapat we need to move forward and move to the next level, make our activities more strategic, no? So that we can contribute better in the attainment of our goals. Then lastly, the program objective is to create a peer learning group that will enable sharing of successful HR practices across the different Camillian institutions. Okay. What do we mean by this? We would like to have a group of practitioners within our organization so that this group would be able to facilitate sharing and cross-learning of the different aspects of HR, no? So ibig sabihin yan, lahat tayo dito sa HR or lahat ng lahat ng participants dito sa program na ito are part of this peer learning group. Kung saan yung bawat isa sa atin meron tayong nalalaman at yung nalalaman natin ibabahagi natin dun sa iba so that it becomes a pool of knowledge that we could use within our organization. Okay? So kung dati ikaw lang mag-isa sa HR, ngayon na meron na tayong ganitong programa, meron na tayong ganitong pag-uusap, hindi ka na nag-iisa ngayon. No? Kasama mo na yung ibang mga HR practitioners sa organization natin na kung saan pwede tayong maaaring makapulot ng maaari nating matutunan, may apply doon sa ating ginagawa. Okay? So each and every one of the participants here are practitioners. So you all know something about people management. And it would help the institution kung may ko-contribute natin yung nalalaman natin para may bahagi sa iba at maghamit din ng iba. Okay? So everybody here has something to teach, no? And everybody here has something to learn as well from one another. So we use that pool of knowledge so that we can perform our task better. Okay? So ito yung objective ng ating programa sa strategic people management. Okay? So let me first stop there, no? Baka may mga questions kayo before I proceed. Or if without any questions, siguro baka may mga gusto kayong idagdag. Okay, sige. So let me proceed. Now, how does it work? Now, how will this work? Okay, the HR Education and Learning Program is basically a peer learning program wherein we bubuuin natin yung peer learning group. Then from the peer learning group, we're going to conduct sessions, formal learning sessions. So this activity that we have every Friday is part of that formal learning session. Okay. Then in between the formal learning session, we have these informal sessions, no, wherein perhaps we would be exchanging online, or perhaps we might even meet face to face. And during those times, we'll be able to have a healthy exchange of what we are doing, no, and learn from one another. Okay, so it's a mix of both formal and informal way of learning, and pooling that learning through the peer learning group. Okay, so what you're going to share also with other people, what you have learned, what you have actually learned from doing the activities that we have in this program. Okay, and hopefully this will become a culture within the organization. Okay, wherein knowledge and insights are shared within the organization. Okay, and used towards improving our systems and the way we do things. Okay, so just to expound it, no? So we're actually going to apply learning by doing. Okay, our approach here is learning by doing. Okay, what do we mean by learning by doing? So the participants here in this program, this will not just be all talk. Okay, and dito yung session wherein I do all of the talking. Okay, so dito, it is important that participants should be able to apply what we have discussed in the sessions, okay? Because the real learning does not happen during our online session, okay? You won't learn anything from me talking here, okay? But you will be able to learn something if you begin to apply the concepts that we share here in this online session. You apply it, and while applying it, that's when the real learning would begin. Okay, so learners will acquire the knowledge to this online session. Then the learner will have to apply and develop that skill. And of course, while you're applying it and developing that skill, while you're doing it, of course, we commit mistakes, we realize certain things, and out of those realizations, we try to reflect on them. We draw out the lessons and insights from these applications, okay? Then we share these insights with our learners, with our fellow learners, no? So, nung minsan, ginawa ko ito, nagkamali ako, yung pala, hindi pala dapat ganito. So what I've learned from that is this and that, okay? We share that so that others will also learn from that experience that you had. And we will also learn more from them. Okay, so ibig sabihin, during the course of that discussion of insights and learnings, we would be able to exchange our thoughts and our own insights in a particular situation, so that it would add up or build up on our own knowledge and competencies. Okay, so this is also a continuous process, meaning, like I said kanina, earlier, we have a classroom session. Itong classroom session natin, hindi physical classroom, online classroom tayo. Okay? And then we have this peer learning session. Doon sa peer learning session natin, doon tayo nag-uusap-usap. Okay? And then after that, we evaluate our performance, okay? And then after that, of course, once you complete the entire program, a certificate would be issued to you, okay? But then it does not end there. Of course, the learning should continue. No? So it's like we said, it's a continuing process. Hindi ito yung tipong magagawa lang natin isang beses. Okay? Hindi lang ito makukuha sa isang upuan. What we are about to learn in this program cannot be completed even after this program. Ibig sabihin, we're just going through this few weeks of classroom sessions so that we can acquire the basic knowledge. But the bulk of that knowledge, or the bulk of the lessons, or the insights that can be generated out of these sessions will only happen perhaps afterwards. Okay, once you're already deep into performing all of the functions that are expected from us as human resource managers or human resource officers. Okay, so after that, after our learning sessions, okay, so we will, of course, evaluate the entire program to see what effect did this program have in our respective institutions. No? So did anything change? Did anything improve? Did the improvements produce the desired results? The expected results. No? So we have to evaluate that, so that we will also learn from that one, so that next time when we implement again this program, we will be able to apply the adjustments or make the necessary adjustments in the delivery of the program. Okay. Now, papaunahan ko na kayo, no? So we are going to do this for a series of sessions over the next few weeks. Okay. Pero itong kabuuan nito, sabihin lang parang ano to we do it in several rounds, no? This is actually the first round of the series. Okay, there will be succeeding rounds, no? Siguro perhaps until we see some significant effects dito sa ating organization. Hopefully we reach that point, no? Often the problem that we have, okay, just to share with you a little background. No, I've been doing this for several organizations in the past decade. Okay, and in my experience in running these programs, particularly this method that we're using, you will expect that it would be quite difficult to go over it once you start implementing it. Why? Because of course there might be something new in it that you have not been doing before. Okay, of course, if there's something new, it is actually difficult at the start. Okay, you have to train your brain to perform that particular activity or task. Okay? Parang driving, no? So, di ba, kung marunong kayo mag-drive ng sasakyan, you will learn that in driving a vehicle, mahirap siya sa umpisa. Okay? So, marami kang dapat tandaan, paano ba tumakbo yung sasakyan, etc. Okay? Pero, once you have learned how to drive, you won't forget the skill anymore, no? Ibig sabihin, naitanim na sa iyo yung abilidad na yon ng pagmamaneho ng isang sasakyan. So that even if matagal ka nang hindi nagmamaneho, sabihin natin, tatigil ka magmaneho ng mahigit 1 taon. Pagka ikaw ay napaupo sa sasakyan, alam mo pa rin kung ano yung gagawin mo. Okay? So, ganito lang din yung ginagawa natin ngayon. Okay? So, gusto kong malaman ninyo, no? Sa umpisa, magiging mahirap ito. Okay? Pero sa kalaunan, once you get used to it, it becomes part of your abilities. becomes part of your skills, no? That you may apply this anywhere you go. Okay? Ibig sabihin yan, you might be learning it here at St. Camillus. Okay? Pero this knowledge or this skill or this competency that we're trying to share with you is something that you will own for the rest of your life. Okay? For that to happen, of course, you will need to apply what you've learned. Okay? So, wala naman taong natututo kung hindi niya talaga ginagawa. Okay? So, like any other skill, if you're not going to apply this, then you just attended a learning session. You just attended a seminar online. Pero you won't be able to acquire the skill unless you apply it. Okay? Now, the other thing that I've learned in performing this program, a lot of the participants in the past, a lot of my participants in the past, oftentimes give up in the middle of the session. Okay? Nawawala na sila pagdating sa gitna. Okay? And siguro sabihin natin, kung merong 10 na, o merong sabihin natin, 50 tao na nag-participate sa umpisa, pagdating ng graduation, o pagdating ng finale, nung huling, yung awarding na ng certificate, ang natitira lang karanasan siguro mga kalahati, no? O minsan wala pang kalahati. Okay? And this, I think it's also normal, no? Because in any educational institution, there are also that type of okay, sorry for that. Ano tayo na putol. Okay. So like what I say, like what I was saying, I'm just informing you or letting you realize that there are certain difficulties in applying this one. So may konting rigor ang ating activity that requires your time and your focus. Okay? So for this to succeed, you need to be focused at this one. You need to provide time for this one. Okay? And finally, let me just bring this up, no, before I move on to the next slide. It is also important to know, no, what we're asking you to do in this course, in this session, is not additional work for an HR person. Okay? What we're trying to teach here is the work of the HR person. Okay? Something that you ought to do or something that you should be doing. Okay? So this is not something new or additional. Okay? It is what is expected of a person performing the HR function. Okay? Now, if you find it burdensome, it means you find the work, the HR work burdensome. Okay? Kasi hindi naman to iba, no? Ibig sabihin, HR work talaga itong tinuturo natin sa inyo. Okay? So you need to figure out as well how you will be able to implement this, no? So kailangan ikaw mismo strategic ka rin mag-isip sa pag-implementa nito sa inyong sariling organization. Okay? How you're going to do it, I will not answer it directly. Of course, you have to learn it by on your own. You have to learn. You have to realize that as you go along. Okay. What are the let me just check. No, am I still here? Can you please raise your hands if you can see me? If you can hear me? Can you still hear me, please? Anyone? Sorry,
Yes po,
wala.
Sir Jeff.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I have to check because baka salita lang ako ng salita dito, wala na palang nakikinig. Okay. Okay, going. Okay. What are the learning topics that we're going to discuss over the next few weeks? Okay. First topic that we'll be discussing is about organizational design. Okay. Oh no, we're going to talk about strategy and organizational design. Okay. So this will be the first topics that we would discuss. That will be followed by competency modeling and job design. Then we will be discussing in the following week, recruitment and onboarding. Then we are going to discuss performance management and the performance management system. Then we're going to discuss training and development. Then finally, we're going to talk about culture building. Okay. So basically, this is the model that we are, or the model that we are trying to incorporate in our HR practice. So these particular topics are essential in the work of HR people. So we have to go through all of them in more detail. Then after each topic is discussed, there will be certain assignments for the participants. Okay, so what would be these assignments? So I'm already providing you the overall assignments that we need to make in compliance or in part of the requirements for our program. Okay, so first would be the business clarifying the business objectives, then the organizational structure. The second assignment would be about core competencies and technical competency requirements. So you have to identify the core competencies and technical competency requirements of certain positions in the organization. You're not going to do this for all of the positions in the organization. For this learning session, we're just going to pick one particular position and then identify what are the core competencies needed and the technical competency requirements for that particular position. Okay, so each one of us will have their own assignment. No, anong position yung tatrabahuin natin dito. No, so I've already identified sino yung mga key positions na yan. Managers, supervisors, nurses, care assistants, the laboratory technicians, and the X-ray technicians. Okay, so these are the positions that we will use or review as part of the learning sessions here. Okay, then next assignment would be about recruitment and onboarding process and methods. So you'll have to describe what is the recruitment and onboarding process that you have in your organization, how you do it, and what are the things that we need to improve on that. Okay. The fourth assignment would be about the performance management system. Okay, so what are the tools, the methods, the processes, the interventions, and the reinforcement that we do in running our performance management system. The fifth assignment is about training needs analysis. How do we do training needs? How do we identify the needed trainings for our organization? And then coming up with a training and development plan. Okay. Then the sixth assignment would be about core values. We're talking about the core value of the Camillus institution itself. Okay. And what are the processes and methods of enculturation or reinforcement that we do in our respective institutions? Okay, so these are the assignments that you would be doing. I will be discussing the details of these assignments as we go along. Okay, so ibig sabihin yan, for every week, we have one particular assignment. Okay, so I already gave you this in advance so that you could already anticipate what you are supposed to work on. Okay, over the course of the next few weeks. Okay, now we're not going to cover everything about each topic or about each assignment. What is important here is that you will be able to at least review it and come up with the recommendations of how you're going to improve it in your respective institution. Because after that, once you've submitted all of these assignments, by the way, these assignments are written, okay? So these are written assignments that need to be submitted, okay? And part of that requirement for getting a certificate of completion, of course, you have to submit these assignments, okay? And by the way, these assignments are not just about compliance to this training program, okay? These assignments are actually work that we need to accomplish as HR people, okay? So don't get disheartened because, oh, ang dami nito ah. Parang hirap yatang gawin ito. May marami pa nga kaming problema dito. No? We're going to do it together, okay? And we're going to go through this together so that we can resolve may mga concerns natin dyan and come up with better ways of doing things. So just siguro lang, just trust the entire process, no? Just go through it, do it, and by doing it, like I said, by doing it, whether you do it, we won't be expecting a perfect work done. Okay, in fact, that would be impossible in a few weeks. But what expect is that you at least comply with it or do it, so that we will be able to discuss something when we do our learning sessions. Okay, so just to clarify it, okay, so in a week, in 1 week, we're going to have every Friday we have a learning session. Okay, yung learning session na yan is more about sharing na kung ano yung nagawa natin. Okay, so it means that before Friday comes, then somehow you already have a presentation of this output. Okay, so I will be sharing with you some concepts. These concepts will be shared with you via the Google Classroom. I will send a link, okay, either by Google Classroom or through the chat group that we have. It will actually be recorded through YouTube, okay? So yung talk or yung concepts that I will be sharing with you, I will be sharing that through video so that you can access that anytime. No? So ibig sabihin, kahit kung marami kang ginagawa in a day, you can just go through that video anytime you are free. No? Pwede mong panoorin. After watching that video, of course, part of that video will be the instructions. So what you're going to do for the assignment. Okay. And then we expect that we would be able to at least allot time during the week to do that assignment. Okay. I've asked Father Nato and Father Gabi if you could provide at least, or you could be allowed at least a certain time in the week to be able to perform this. Okay. Now, in performing this, of course, since you are HR officers and you're not alone in the organization, in your department, you can perform this together with your staff or delegate some of the work to the other staff that you have, no, in HR, so that not all of the work will be performed by you. However, if you delegate these tasks, make sure that you are also guiding them in the performance of these tasks. Okay. Now, what is important here is that there will be outputs per institution. Okay. It won't be an output per individual. It would be an output per institution. Okay. So it means that I am expecting at least five reports, no, to be submitted each week, covering these particular assignments. Okay. So isa sa Mati, isa sa Calbayog, isa sa Makati, isa sa Medhaven, isa sa Pasig. Okay. And you could share that task with the other HR staff. Okay. Pero ultimately, yung HR officer will be the one who is responsible for the submission and completion of the requirements. Okay? So kung kulang, of course, kulang din yung yung ating certificate of completion, no? So hindi mabubuo, hindi complete, no? Kapag kulang. Okay? So walang completion kapag kulang. Okay? So kailangan buo, no? Or kompleto. Okay? So as we go along, of course, you might have a lot of questions. I will make myself available anytime of the day for you to we can chat, we can do a video call so that we can discuss in more detailed fashion your concerns with regards to performing this particular assignment. Okay. Now we will only have one session each week wherein we meet. Okay, and that's Friday, and that Friday will have to be devoted to the sharing of the insights that you had while performing these tasks. Okay, now just to clarify, no, it is important for you to perform this each week. However, yung pinaka-final nito, we will give you enough time to finalize this. Okay, after this several week sessions, you will have time to finalize everything to submit a finalized document. Okay, that will be used as basis for the issuance of the certificate of completion for this course, for this particular course. Yeah. So para kang nagmasteral no, dahil mayroong pang assignment at mayroong pang submission. Okay, actually it's really part of that, no. This is the design of the program. Okay, that there has to be this particular work that you have to do and submit, because this is where you are going to learn if you are actually doing it. Okay, now again, the process that I mentioned, I talk, I provide the concepts, I provide the inputs, I will even ask the questions. Okay, so if you're going to ask me questions, I might not be able to answer everything or all of them, no? Because I will depend on you to provide the answers to the questions. Okay, so dito you participant, you're going to provide the case, you're going to review it, you're going to write it, and you're going to submit it. And then during Fridays, we share and discuss what you've learned so far in the implementation. And overall, together, we will learn from all of these activities. Okay. So, yeah, so that is the entire program, so that you be able to be clear about the expectations that we have here. So, paano yan, no? So, kapag may payroll, parang may ginagawa tayo. Of course, so you have to anticipate that now, no? That there are certain Fridays that we have sessions, so you have to anticipate that as well, no? So, of course, you can listen in, but if it is your turn to report, of course, you have to also report. Di ako ang lahat magsasalita during Fridays, no? So let me just be clear about that. I'm not going to monopolize the discussion. So I would like to hear everyone, of course, do a reporting every Friday. You share what you've learned with the other participants as well. Okay. So not everyone will be able uh, to speak perhaps in our session, okay? Especially kung medyo lengthy yung discussion. Pero what I guarantee, everyone will be able to speak during the next few weeks, no? So meron kayong pagkakataon para makapagbahagi nung inyong natutunan at nalaman doon sa ating implementation ng programa, okay? Okay, so are there any questions?
Sir, clarify ko lang yung regards yung link, nawala kasi yung connection ko kanina.
Mhm.
Saan masisend yung links
Okay,
for this?
yeah, ipapa-add ko kayo, Doc, sa sa chat group natin para doon ko ipopost yung
Okay.
yung link, okay, kung saan niyo ipapadala yung mga assignments. Basically po nasa ano po tayo,
Okay po.
we'll be utilizing
Thank you.
Google Classroom. So doon natin mapopost yung mga assignments. At the same time, doon sa Google Classroom, I will be sharing certain
Sir,
reading
hello?
materials. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be sharing certain learning materials there. Okay, any other questions or clarifications before we take a break? By the way, we have every Friday we have just 2 sessions. I mean, two segments, no? So in the morning, 10 a.m. to 12, and then in the afternoon, 1 to 3 p.m. Okay. So after this one, we will take a break and we will just come back.
Okay. Sir Jeff, ano ko la... Hello? Hello, sir. May audio
Yes.
po ba?
Yes, Ma'am Sarah.
Sir, kasi doon sa meeting namin kahapon, tinatanong. So is it possible, sir, di ba kahapon may binigay po ako sa inyo. Hintay ko lang si Nessie.
Hello, Ma'am Sarah.
Hello, sir. May audio po ba?
Medyo nagcha-choppy eh. So
Mahina
can
kasi
you repeat?
Ma-message lang po ako, sir, kasi mahina yung internet.
Sige. I'll just answer you.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, any other questions before we take a break? Okay, so if there are no questions, perhaps later, kung may mga questions kayo when we resume, you could ask your questions later. Okay, so for now, we take a break. We just come back at around 1:15. Okay, we can come back at 1:15. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll see you again later.
Yes, sir.
Okay po. Sir Jeff.
We resume at 1:15.